So Suge Knight has been speaking out about Diddy's current situation, and he actually did an interview with Chris Cuomo. And I'm going to play portions of that interview in just a moment, but a lot of people are already reacting to this interview, and they think that Suge Knight was talking in circles. They think that he was saying a whole bunch of nothing. But I don't think that's the case at all. You see, Suge Knight, he's in the know. I'm not saying that he's the highest of highest up. Of course not. But Suge Knight is in the know about some of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes in Hollywood, behind the scenes in the music industry. And he speaks out about that in this interview, but he has a way of talking to where sometimes he doesn't directly say things, and I think that's maybe to protect himself. But for those of you all who are aware of some of the wicked, wild stuff going on behind the scenes in Hollywood and in the music industry, when you listen to Suge Knight speak, and when you listen to some of the things he's saying, it will make sense to you. So basically what I'm saying here is, Suge Knight in these interviews that he's been doing, to the average person, some of the stuff he says, it might not make sense. It might not add up. But if you know, right? So during this interview, Suge Knight dropped some interesting bombs of information. And I feel like maybe it might not have the effect on some people that it has on others. Because like I said, this is one of those situations. The Diddy case in general is one of those, if you know, you know. And a lot of us already knew all of this stuff that is coming out now. So some of the information that Suge Knight drops, it will be shocking to the average person that doesn't realize all of the crazy stuff going on in the world. But I think for most of us, it will be confirmation when it comes to a lot of the things that we've been talking about. But I'm going to go ahead and roll a part of this little interview, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
People who have done a little bit of homework and know who you are, why should they believe you about what you think and feel about Sean Diddy Combs and any allegations against him, given your history of animosity with him?
Well, first of all, I'm not calling you or nobody else to get nobody to believe anything regarding him. Like I said, and I always say, me personally, I don't jump up and down and cheer for no black man going to prison or any other man, any other human being going to prison. Because people think prison is always the answer. I'm not saying a lot of people don't deserve to do their time and see what's going on. But at the same time, that's not no cheerful thing, because when you look at it, that man have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever affects him definitely affects his kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a lot of victims involved in it, and whatever affects them affects their kids. So it's not a good thing to be talking about any shit about the next person. But it's not a gray area with me. And at the same time, Puffy didn't react or get where he got or doing those things or those allegations by himself. He was taught from people before him, and he did it to the younger people after him. And we can talk all day and say what's true and what's not true. The only true part about it is videos, conversations, and people can see what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
But for it being happy and proud and say, what do people think? That's irrelevant.
So, Suge.
It's just like I heard earlier today when Ray J was talking to TMZ.
Mm-hmm.
I got love for Harvey, but I see Charles always got something negative to say when it comes to West Coast people. And Charles tried to make a reference to say that, how do I feel when I'm in prison? Yeah, I'm in prison. I guarantee you I'm free more than Charles. If I feel like sleeping to 5 o'clock, I want to sleep 12 hours a day, I can.
Sure.
But besides all that, The fact is, it's not no competition who's going to talk the loudest or talk the best. It's not something positive that can help anybody. I don't get on no platforms unless it be something positive. If it ain't positive.
I understand what you're saying. I want you to try to make some positive points here. I get what you're saying about TMZ, but that's not really my interest, as you might imagine. My interest is in what you can help people understand about these allegations that Diddy is facing and what you believe he's facing on the inside. Now, what's most interesting to me is that you seem to see Diddy as kind of an Epstein kind of figure. That Jeffrey Epstein, that a lot of people know what Diddy was about, and they were about the same thing, and that's why they're quiet. That's why J-Lo and Ben Affleck got divorced, because of videos that he has of her that now they know about. Where is this coming from with you? What do you believe about the people around Diddy and what everybody knows?
Well, first of all, you got to start with at the top. You starting with the top. Clyde Davis, Russell Simmons, Andre Arell, Jimmy Iovine. And even if you take Jimmy Iovine, he had an allegation from him, same thing, it went away. You take Jimmy Iovine. They told me at Universal and Interscope, they said, you know what? We can't deal with artists that gets in trouble. And your artist gets in trouble, they talk crazy.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Keep going, Suge.
They speak about what they see. Now, I was told that I can't do business there because of that. Now, Doug Morris gave Puffy a deal for millions of dollars. It flopped. So when you look at all these things and everybody want to say Puffy, 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 don't get me wrong. Yeah, Puffy stepped in this shit, and even if he wiped the shit off his shoe, it still stinks. But he's not the only one. They got all the tapes.
Now, when you talk about the tapes,
but this been going on for a long time.
Hold on, Suge. Help us understand, because a lot of this stuff is a little inside baseball for people, right? Because they don't live the life, they don't know the world, they don't know the players.
Your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
That's just a recording from the prison. That's just saying that they record it, which obviously.
So as we go through this interview, I just want to pause right here and give you all a warning. Now, this warning doesn't necessarily have to do with Suge Knight, but Suge Knight is included in this warning. Over the coming days, the coming weeks, the coming months, a lot of people are going to come out speaking out about Diddy. A lot of people are going to come forward with accusations about Diddy. There's going to be a lot of other famous people like Suge Knight who are going to be speaking out about what's going on, who are going to be doing interviews about what's going on. And all I'm here to warn you about is you got to be careful with what you believe. Yes, I do think the accusations made against Diddy are true. But a lot of these people that are coming forward take their word with a grain of salt. Because this is deep. There's layers to this situation. There are people that are going to come forward with different agendas. Of course, there's going to be people coming forward looking for a payday. But also, because of Diddy's connections, because he's connected to so many powerful people, you may see other powerful people. You may see other famous people inject themselves into this conversation in an attempt to bring other people down. What I'm saying here, you might have someone in the music industry that has problems or beef with someone else in the music industry. And they may use Diddy or the conversation surrounding Diddy as a way to take shots at their enemies. You might have one music artist that tries to tie another music artist to Diddy and his parties as just, an attempt to take them down. Or, I don't know exactly how to explain it, but I think you all get it. I don't know a better way to explain it. Other than people are going to use Diddy's current situation as a way to take down their own enemies. You may have this person you don't like in the music industry You couldn't take them down for years, but now here's a golden opportunity. I'm going to try to tie them to Diddy so they can go down with Diddy's burning ship. So all I'm saying here is you got to be careful. Because even people like Suge Knight has a long history of beef with Diddy. Suge Knight still probably has beef with people who are associated with Diddy. So Suge Knight could very easily mention names and drop names that have nothing to do with Diddy, but do it on purpose to try to tie them to Diddy, to try to bring them down. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying that's what Suge Knight is doing. I'm just using that as an example. Because we will start seeing other people coming forward using Diddy's situation as a way to attack other people. That's basically what I'm getting at here. I'm not saying that's the case with Suge Knight. Most of what Suge Knight is saying, I think, is pretty valid. I don't find most of what he's saying surprising, although I think the average person who doesn't pay attention to this type of stuff will. But with that being said, let's roll more of this interview, and then I'll be right back with even more thoughts.
It's just saying that they record it, which obviously they do. Suge, help people understand. What tapes are you talking about? Who has them? And what kinds of things do you think they show?
Well, number one, luckily, I wasn't their first choice. Their second choice, I wasn't no choice to be at those freaky parties. But you know what they show. They used to have a thing in the industry, right? And the sad thing about it, I don't like mentioning Usher. I don't like mentioning Justin Bieber. I don't like mentioning all these people that everybody know what time it is. So at the same time, they used to have a joke. They never played this joke with me. And they used to walk in the Interscope office. They'd go back there and they'd be like, hey, will you pass the test? I said, we haven't did the test. One dude said, well, don't say that in front of Mr. Knight because he's going to take it offensive and hurt somebody. I said, well, whatever it is, I probably will take it offensive or somebody will get their ass whooped. You know, that was me in those days. But they used to have these guys, they used to call it the boiled egg test. They used to take a boiled egg, a raw boiled egg, and have those guys put their pants down and bend over and they stick it up their ass. The eggs break, they say they're not ready yet. They ain't put enough work in. This is Hollywood. So everybody want to go act like they don't know what's going on.
Hold on a second,
Suge. You just look. That's all you got to do.
I have never heard of anything like that. So if I haven't heard about it, just assume a lot of people haven't heard that before.
Okay,
but you think it's on video?
Let's stop for a second.
Go ahead, Suge.
Yeah, listen, and also, have you ever been to any puffy parties?
No.
You sure they had a long time to think about it, but if you haven't been in those butt-naked parties, even some of the preachers been in those parties, and they wasn't on their knees praying for God. See, they was praying for somebody to have come real quick or something, but I wasn't there, but there's proof of it. But at the same time, everybody want to look around and act like something going on that wasn't right. It's the facts of life in the industry, not for the people who don't get in. So, everybody, you got to look at it like this. When you see a beautiful woman or you see a handsome man, and it was like that all their life, from elementary school to junior high school to high school, if they forced to go to college, right? They always knew they had something special about themselves. But you take some of the Hollywood executives or some artists, they might have been the ugly duckling for a long time before they had the teeth fix and lipsticks and nose fix, all the work done. Underneath, they still the young people with no confidence because they've been that way all their fucking life. So all of a sudden, if you look at Puffy old pictures, don't look nothing like his new pictures. You know, shit, they didn't do everything.
But Suge, just because he has plastic surgery, all I'm saying is, I'm not saying that you're wrong about rich people doing stuff to their face or whatever it is, but that's different than the allegations that are coming down on him.
I'm talking about richer people. I'm talking about the difference. I'm talking about, okay, look at it like this. I look at real plain and simple. Ain't no whistleblower. Facts is there. But right now, I don't care if it's T.I., I don't care if it's Rick Ross, I don't care if it's Jay, I don't care if it's Snoop, I don't care if it's Game, I don't care if it's Dre. Nobody's stepping up on the fact that you know what's going on.
Nobody's defending him.
You're
right.
Guys at Interscope.
You're right.
Okay.
Nobody is defending him, but that's why I was interested in hearing your perspective.
My favorite part about this interview really has nothing to do with anything Suge Knight said specifically. It has more so to do with how he's saying it. The way he's talking to Chris Cuomo. Almost in a way like, yeah, bruh, you know. You know what I'm talking about. You ain't ever been to a Diddy party? Oh, you took a little too long to answer that question. Because you see, the reality is, if we were to believe what Suge Knight said to be true, if we were to believe a lot of the stuff to be true that we hear about the music industry in Hollywood, you know, some call it the Illuminati, whatever you want to call it. If we were to believe some of these things are true, then why would we believe that Chris Cuomo has no idea about any of it? In fact, I would say the Cuomos and their ties to New York City and Diddy's ties to NYC, if any news anchor knows about Diddy and what he's doing, the Cuomos do, or Chris Cuomo does. All I'm saying is, when watching this interview, when hearing, you know, Chris speak to Suge Knight, I felt like, Chris, you know exactly what this guy's talking about. You know the things that you gotta do to make it. And if I know about Diddy's freak-offs, and if you at home, you know about Diddy's freak-offs, why wouldn't Chris Cuomo? Why wouldn't someone closer to Diddy's age, who's tied to New York, who's a journalist, who's a reporter, who I'm sure has reported on Diddy before, has probably partied with Diddy, why wouldn't he know about any of this? Why is he acting so dumbfounded? And at the very least, even if he has no connections to Diddy, I'm not trying to sit here and say Chris Cuomo was at all of the freak-offs. But at the very least, Chris, you know damn good and well that you don't just make it without doing certain things, right? So I just thought it was funny, you know, the way that Suge Knight is talking to Chris, like, I'm talking to you, explaining these things to you, but really I'm explaining this stuff to your audience because you know, Chris, you know damn good and well the type of stuff I'm talking about and the type of stuff you got to do to make it in the industry. But I'm sure we're going to get a lot more interesting information, and like I warned you all in the middle of this video, you got to be careful what you believe because right now it's open season. And there's a lot of agendas at play. There's a lot of people who are trying to save their careers. There's a lot of people out there trying to ruin other people's careers. So we're going to see a lot of mud-flinging madness over the days, weeks, and months to come. And listen, in the rap game, the rap industry, they're already using like, oh, you were connected to Diddy as a diss, as a way, to make fun of people on their records and stuff. But that's a conversation for another time. For right now, take the conversation down to the comments below. Let me know what you think. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next video.